Let's be honest. When a woman wants you intensely, she almost never says it directly. She reveals it in subtle ways most men overlook, then later regret missing. And here's the uncomfortable truth. By the time many men understand what was happening, the window has already closed. That quiet shift you sensed but ignored wasn't taima. It was interest evolving into urgency. Female desire doesn't announce itself loudly. It whispers, eat, eat observes. And if you don't understand how it operates, you'll confuse desire with friendliness, attraction with politeness, and opportunity with coincidence. Here's what most men were never taught. When a woman truly wants you, her behavior may seem inconsistent on the surface, but underneath it's extremely consistent. She starts bending rules. Rules she enforces rigidly with other men. With you, those rules soften, not because she lacks discipline, but because desire reshapes priorities. She suddenly finds time she didn't have before, not in dramatic declarations, but casually. A message here, colder, a check-in that pretends to be spontaneous, but isn't. She remembers small details you assumed were insignificant, how you phrased something once, the tone in your voice when you were tired. Women don't store memories about men they feel nothing for. And this is where many men feel uneasy. When she wants you deeply, she starts observing you. Quietly, measuring. She notices how you handle pressure, how you respond to silence, how you treat people who offer you nothing. This isn't random. Her subconscious is asking one question repeatedly. Is this man safe to desire fully? You'll sense her energy shift before you can explain it. She's warm, then distant, then warm again. That push-pull isn't manipulation. It's emotional exposure. She steps forward, then retreats slightly to see if you remain grounded. Most men fail here. They either chase too aggressively and collapse the tension, or they freeze and force her to withdraw completely. When a woman wants you badly, she gives you emotional access. She talks about frustrations, fears, contradictions, parts of herself she doesn't open easily. This isn't it's vulnerability offered as an invitation. If you dismiss it, joke it away, or rush to fix her, she doesn't argue. She closes quietly and permanently. Attraction grows where presence meets restraints. She wants to feel that you could take her, but don't need to. That balance is rare. And rarity is magnetic. The men who succeed aren't louder. They're calmer. They don't rush to claim what's already leaning toward them. They let tension breathe. They let curiosity expand. They respect the signal instead of panicking under it. Because when she behaves this way, she isn't asking for attention, she's asking for direction. Women don't pursue the way men do. When she wants you, she positions herself to be chosen. And if you don't understand that distinction, you'll either miss her interest entirely or destroy it without realizing how. One of the clearest signs appears in how she reacts to your absence. Not dramatically, not desperately, but noticeably. When you pull back slightly, she doesn't vanish. She reappears differently. A softer tone, warmer laughter, subtle efforts to reconnect. This isn't insecurity, it's emotional calibration. Women don't test men they don't care about. Testing requires investment. When she asks questions that seem unnecessary, lightly challenges your opinions, or playfully disagrees, that's not conflict. It's curiosity mixed with attraction. She's observing your calm, your spine, your sense of self. When a woman wants you badly, she also begins to mirror you. Your phrases slip into her vocabulary. Your humor becomes her humor. Even your pacing, how quickly you reply, how long you pause, starts influencing her. This happens subconsciously. Her nervous system is syncing with yours. Pay attention to how she handles your boundaries. A woman who desires you respects them, even while gently testing them. If you say you're busy, and she responds with understanding instead of guilt or pressure, that's attraction paired with respect. That combination is powerful. Another sign men misread is emotional fluctuation. She may feel hot one day, and distant the next. This isn't confusion about you, it's fear of herself. Strong attraction creates vulnerability. Vulnerability feels risky, so she pulls back to regain control. If you react emotionally, you confirm her fear. If you stay grounded, you become safe. She may also start competing quietly, mentioning other women, watching your response, not to provoke jealousy, but to assess your value through your options. Women are drawn to men who are desired by others, but not dependent on validation. You may notice her seeking your approval in subtle ways. Watching your reactions, not asking directly, but noticing if you laughed, if you noticed, if you cared. If she dresses differently around you or shares accomplishments more eagerly, that's desire seeking validation from a specific source, you. Here's where men often get it wrong. When she opens emotionally, they rush to define things. Label it, lock it down, secure certainty. But attraction doesn't grow under pressure. It grows under polarity. She wants closeness without losing freedom, intensity without suffocation. The man she falls for doesn't flinch. He doesn't rush. He allows her to come closer at her pace while holding his ground. That steadiness becomes intoxicating, because when she's behaving this way, she isn't undecided. She's deciding. And how you show up determines whether she leans in or walks away. When a woman wants you deeply, her emotions begin leaking through the cracks of her skin. She may try to stay composed, but desire bends even the strongest restraint. One powerful signal appears in how she responds to calm confidence, not arrogance, not dominance, but certainty. When you speak clearly, disagree without hostility, and don't rush to explain yourself, something shifts. Her voice softens. Her attention sharpens. Desire responds to emotional leadership. You'll notice she becomes unusually present around you. Conversations linger. Time stretches. Silence feels comfortable. Women don't sit in silence with men, they feel nothing for. Silence requires trust. Her intuition also sharpens toward you. She asks how you're really doing. She senses mood shifts before you explain them. That emotional attunement isn't accidental. She's positioning you as an emotional anchor. Watch how she handles your flaws. When she wants you badly, she doesn't ignore imperfections. She contextualizes them. She defends you internally. Desire doesn't blind her. It prioritizes you. Notice how she reacts to your independence. When you choose your own path and don't immediately agree, if she leans in with curiosity instead of withdrawing, that's attraction responding to strength. She doesn't want to control you. She wants to join you. She may create emotional tension on purpose, delayed replies, brief pull, not to hurt you, but to check your emotional stability. Women fear emotional collapse more than rejection. If you spiral, you fail. If you remain steady, you pass without knowing it. You'll see curiosity about your past, not jealousy, but narrative interest. She wants to understand what shaped you. This is emotional mapping. And here's the signal almost no man recognizes until it's gone. When she wants you badly, she gives you choice. She leaves openings. She doesn't corner you. She wants you to step forward because you want to, not because you were pushed. At this stage, she isn't flirting anymore. She's offering access to her inner world. And how you step into it decides everything. Desire always involves risk. Emotional risk. Ego. Risk. And when she lets you see uncertainty, moments of confusion or vulnerability, it is not weakness. It's trust. Watch how she behaves when you don't immediately reassure her. If she stays open and warm, she's choosing vulnerability over control. She begins integrating you into her mental future through language. You'd like this? This reminds me of you. These aren't plans, they're projections. Physical closeness shifts to sitting closer, holding eye contact longer. The body speaks before words. Women fear regret more than rejection. When these signs appear, she's already asking herself, if I don't act, will I lose him? At these stages, one wrong move can undo months of silent attraction. She watches your emotional discipline, how you handle power, how you hold restraint. She may admit fear about getting attached. That's not a warning. It's a confession. Stability now becomes seductive. She seeks your opinion more. She values your perspective. Respect merges with desire. She protects the connection, avoids chaos, creates mental space for you. She imagines loss not from insecurity, but attachment forming. That's why she asks about values and boundaries. If conflict arises and she chooses calm conversation, that's emotional maturity under attraction. And here's the mistake that ends it all. Men sense closeness and rush to secure guarantees. Pressure replaces polarity. Desire collapses. The man who succeeds stays present without grasping. Calm, without urgency. He allows her feelings without exploiting them, because now, she's deciding whether trusting you with her heart is safe. At the final stage, she slows herself down to see if you can meet her without breaking what she feels. She becomes quieter, more observant. Silence becomes the test. If you panic, she notices. If you remain grounded, she exhales. She wants to be chosen, not cornered. Desired, not depended on. Masculine strength is emotional containment, staying centered when it matters. Respect now precedes surrender. Desire without respect fades. Respect with desire transforms. And here's the truth that stings. Many men only realize she wanted them deeply after she's gone, not because she lost interest, but because she chose herself. The man who wins doesn't rush her desire or fear it. He meets it with calm direction. Through actions, he says, "I see you, and I can hold this." That's when resistance melts, not from pressure, but leadership. So ask yourself honestly, when a woman shows desire, do you respond from confidence or fear? If this changed how you see past situations, like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this before it's too late.